Thomas with princesspower.com, and I have been showing you how I'm reupholstering this bed. We've been painting it over a period of days, and we're just getting ready to wrap it up. Oliver wants to say hi. Oliver has licked my paint and all kinds of crazy things. He is my champion Pomeranian, and we breed Pomeranians and Pomskis. So I love my little fluff ball, although he licks paint sometimes and I have to put him away. Fortunately, the paint that I use DIY and sell on my Princess Power is non-toxic. But I'm going to put Oliver down, and I have been trimming this and putting in the nail brads, but I wanted to go ahead and show you. Now I have used my razor blade to cut back the fabric, and so that I can work. Whoops, I'm moving things around here. And down here, I've left some of it to keep going, so I could demonstrate just a little bit more of the finishing touches. But really, if you look over here, the bed is almost more than halfway done. I expect to finish it tonight, and just wanted you to get a good look at how beautiful that is. I'm adding some gold to the finials that go at each end. This was originally a canopy bed, and I cut it. It didn't fit in my room here. Okay, I'm trying to get some camera angles here so you can see this. There we go. Okay, so I am using my tape here. It's nail brad tape. I tore the face off. Let me see. This is Dritz brand, and it's called Decorative Nail Head Trim. It comes on a roll, and about every, let's see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, it has a little hole, and you put a nail brad through it. This is more decorative than actually holding your fabric in place. What is holding my fabric in place is the staples. Now, this particular side of the bed is, you're not seeing it from this angle, but it kind of waves. So that makes it a little more difficult for me. I took regular scissors to cut this metal so that I would have a hole on the end. Now, if I had not tacked down my first one, I would have just slipped the non-hole underneath and used the tack to go through both the piece that went this way and then what I'm going to begin over here. But I didn't do that. I am using a small hammer. And can you see in here? Let me see if I can get you a slightly better angle. Whoops. Sorry about that. There we go. I don't know that you're going to get to see me that much, but I'm not that important. So I'm just going to get up in there and, sorry, we're going to get this piece tacked in to get us started going down that edge. I'm right-handed, so this angle is a little bit more awkward for me than the other area that I was working in. And it's going to fall out on me. I'm trying to push it in a little bit before I get started. Okay, sorry about that. I'm struggling here just a teeny tiny. So there we go. I got the finger. Just had to do that, didn't I? Okay. So I'm working to get what little fabric I didn't cut back kind of stuck under the brads. I'm going to fiddle with it a little bit more. I still have my razor there, and then I'm also using these little nail scissors, kind of little manicure scissors. I like that they're angled. They've got a little point on them, and that's helping me get under or cut off some of these little extra sticky points. Now, if you need an extra nail in here, you can put this through the parts that don't already have a hole. It's a teeny bit more effort, but it is doable. And the actual nail brads are slightly bigger than the decorative nail tape. I'm going to cut that little frizzy off, and I can always go back and get any others that I didn't get. I'm afraid I use these little nail scissors for everything, so they're not quite as sharp anymore, and they're fighting me just a little bit. Okay. So what I'd really like to do is put a nail here, and I'm not ready for one until one more space down, but I'm trying to get it in there. There we go. And we're just going to poke that through the existing hole, and hope I don't hit my fingers again. There we go. So you can see that that's not too difficult at all. And like I said, I hope to be able to do this tonight, get my bedroom cleaned up. I really wanted to do this for quite a while, probably close to a year, and was just too lazy to sew the fabric and take the time. And I stay very, very busy. You know, I have multiple businesses, and I teach about health, business, and relationships over on my princesspower.com site. A lot of really great guests that come in and talk. We have some amazing people. I mean, we've had women that have started businesses at home and sold them for $20 million. And you can glean just an awful lot of information. So while I'm talking to you, what I'm doing is working the little threads under this tape so that they're not sticking out. And, you know, if I miss one or two, I can go back and trim them back later. So I'm taking another nail. And then I'm going to see if I can adjust the camera since we're working our way down, so that you're not missing anything. And we're just tacking that in there. So let me see if this will, there we go. Okay. And like I said, this part of the bed is a little bit more difficult because it's not a straight line. I'm having to get it to move a little bit, and that was obviously, it was a little bit harder to cut as well. Okay, so I'm ready for another brad. I'm just going to be so happy to have this done, and because I cut the bed, I'm going to have to glue the finials on, and one of the person that cut the finial for me the other day didn't get it straight. So I'm going to have to try to sand the bottom so that I have a flat piece to work with to glue on top. So I'm just working my way down. There's another brad here, another hole for a brad, and there we go. You can just see that this really is not difficult at all. The bed is just looking lovely and taut, and I'm very pleased with it. You don't really notice the seams. There's a seam right here, and so this one section has kind of two branches going up, and I'm just enjoying it. I think it's lovely. I think the colors are going to go very well in my bedroom, and I just couldn't be more pleased with it. Now, it's not perfect. I mean, if you were to get really up there with your eyes, you might see a little thread here or there. And I just don't know that if we didn't examine professional people's work that we wouldn't see some flaws too. So I just cut myself some slack and don't worry about things like that all the time. Let's see here. I'm just going to get another one in, and we'll just do a couple more before we say goodbye. I have some great products over at princesspower.com. I teach women how to budget. I teach how to decorate on a budget. I'm working on a remodeling DVD. I teach how to do budget healthcare and budget travel, budget weddings, budget clothing, and just all that sort of thing. So now let's see here. I'm going to drop it down a little bit more, and I'm going to come in with the razor blade since you didn't actually see me do any cutting before. And again, this has a wave to it. It's not perfectly straight. So I'm having to be a little bit more careful cutting it, and it's a little harder to make sure. Obviously, I want to stay the other side of my staples, but I'm also trying to stay this side of the nail brads that are existing. And this particular razor blade may be getting a little bit dull on me. I've already changed one, and yeah, it's kind of just hacking at it here right now. And when I am cutting it, what I'm getting is a lot of those frizzies that I'm going to have to go back in and cut. I probably should have been cutting this just a tiny bit shorter, but it is a little hard to see. And again, I'm not completely worried about perfection. And as a matter of fact, a lot of this area that I'm working on right now is going to be below the mattress area even. So it's less important to me to be perfect. Now, if I were doing this for a custom order, something like that, I might have to be a little bit more diligent with some of this, I guess I would say. Okay, I'm just going to take off some of those. And then when we get down to the bottom, I believe that we'll just be able to turn that corner. There we go. We're just a few away from doing that. And I have used this nail head tape on dresser drawer fronts. It can just be adorable. Now see, this is just bending for me to flex into the different spaces that I need. I'm having to just work it in there a little bit. There we go. I was looking for my one with a hole. And there it is. There we go. Okay, wow, that is just going to perfectly go down into that corner. And what I may do, as a matter of fact, I already know I will, I'm going to cut this with my scissors, and then I'm going to place the other end under. So when I put my tack in, I will be going through two at the same time, and one of them won't have a hole, but it's going to be okay. I'm not gonna worry about that. After I cut this off with my scissors, I'm gonna go in, and there's gonna be a sharp point there. I'm gonna make a second cut and take that off, and that's just the little space. And then I will just set it right under and nail through both, and then keep going. Now before I continue, I want to take more of this fabric off. Now, even though this is just a little scrap of fabric left, it does have some whole birds on it. And I will go ahead and save this scrap fabric because I may later have an idea of something wonderful to do with the fabric, where I could, cut out little squares, or I could actually cut out the birds. I'm going to flip the camera and show you something I did on my ceiling here. Whoops, okay, sorry for the bad camera work. It's going to take me a second here. I have to find it. Oh, okay. I have a chandelier up here. Well, it's a ceiling fan, and I covered the blades of the ceiling fan. You might not be seeing it very well because of the glare from the light, but originally I bought this fabric thinking that I might put some of the birds up there, and it was this fabric that inspired me to do the bed. Sorry, camera's all over the place. Apologize for that. So I think you pretty much have an idea, and if you decide to launch out and do something like this, you've got some good tips on how to do it. And I want to thank you for watching, and if you're interested in DIY paint or some of the DVDs that I offer, I also have an affirmation DVD over there, and I have some wonderful, I have a book that helps parents. It's called the Desperate Parents Handbook. So I have other interesting things as well. I love Chance on Water ionizers and have been offering them to the United States and 7 other countries for 12 years. I have the exclusive contract for that. So thank you for watching, and you have an amazing night. Bye-bye.